Today I review Captain America Sam Wilson #1, Uncanny Avengers #1, and New Avengers #1. Hello and welcome to the show with reviews. I'm Auram, and it is now week 2 of the all-new, all-different Marvel launch, which I am officially naming the Avengers Knockoff Week. 2 of the Avengers books came out today, New and Uncanny, along with a bunch of other new stuff, so let's get started. First up is Captain America Sam Wilson #1, written by Nick Spencer with art by Daniel Acuna. This issue was pretty great. It's basically just an introduction to how Sam Wilson operates in this new and crazy world, and it does its job pretty well. Sam is now working with Misty Knight and Demolition Man, and he's gone rogue for the most part. In fact, that may be my only complaint with this issue. The I'm going solo now, but with a small team trope is getting a little old, and this book doesn't even seem to complement it with a nice story. They kind of just set it up and let it fall flat in the end. The stinger was pretty interesting, but I have this strange feeling that they're not really going to capitalize on it until Avengers Standoff next year. Speaking of that event, this book is setting it up big time. It's just sowing the seeds for it, and seeing as they're describing it as a Captain America event, that makes a lot of sense. All in all, I enjoyed this book and just hope that the story picks up soon, otherwise it could be boring. Next up is Uncanny Avengers #1, written by Jerry Dugan with art by Ryan Stegman. Alright, round 3 of this book, here we go. So far, this is already better than the second volume of this series. Maybe not so much the first one, but it could get there. The premise of this version of the Uncanny Avengers is basically just the inclusion of Inhumans along with mutants and humans. The team consists of Rogue, Spider-Man, Steve Rogers, Deadpool, Dr. Voodoo, Human Torch, Quicksilver, and Synapse. Synapse? Synapse? I don't know. Speaking of Synapse, does anyone actually know who she is? I think the little story at the beginning of the book was supposed to hint at her origin, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, this issue was pretty great. It started off with an introduction to the team and how they all operate, and just kind of went slowly into introducing the first villain. And that's where my gripes with the book kind of come into play. The conflict here doesn't seem too interesting to me. It looks like they're introducing a new villain here, which is always a treat, but the villain's powers and just like who he seems to be doesn't seem all that interesting. Who knows though, maybe they'll give him a cool personality or some interesting quirk that makes him an actual good villain. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And finally is New Avengers #1, written by Al Ewing with art by Gerardo Sandoval. I was very hesitant with reading this book. On one hand, it's written by Al Ewing and features the Maker as its villain, and on the other hand, it has Squirrel Girl on the team. Fortunately, though, she's not extremely stupid in this book. I didn't laugh at anything at all that she said in the book, but it also didn't make me groan like it normally does. As for the book itself, I'm surprisingly really enjoying it. I feel like this is going to be one of those books that's an underdog title because of the lineup, just not many people are going to read it. Most of these characters are pretty B-list, and that's definitely not going to pull in the average, ooh look, Captain America type reader. Also, the art in this book is weird in some places. It's pretty bubbly, if that makes any sense. I'm just not sure if I like it yet. But that's it for this week. All new, all different Marvel is still going strong in my opinion, and I really hope that it doesn't slow down anytime soon. Be sure to let me know what you thought about your polls in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. That being said, thank you so much for watching. Next time I quit the superhero game and try and live a normal kind of down-to-earth life, but at the same time, I'm trying to restore the future, and then my pregnant girlfriend maybe dies.